Hello student, this is our first lecture and I just want to congratulate you for admission to the 11th science. Friends, this lecture is for you, that is the online lecture, and I think this is a new experience, but we are sorry for that, we have no other means. First, we will talk about your textbook. So, have you purchased your textbook? Textbook is very important for your language learning. Your textbook is divided into 4 sections. The first section is about the prose, second is about the poetry, third one is about the writing skill, and the last one is about the literary skills. So today we are going to discuss your first section, and before going to start that section, I just want you some important things. First, due to the coronavirus and other problems, your first section, unit 1.1 is deleted from your syllabus because we have no sufficient time for that. So we will start directly your second section, and your second section, section number 1.2, and that is about one essay. I'll just write the name of the essay here. So my friends, see here, this is a long title, but first we will talk on that title, On to the Summit, where is the top. Tell me, do you know the meaning of the summit? What is summit? Actually, that word is from the register of mountain. Summit is, we can see the summit in the mountains. Summit means the top part of the mountain. Have you seen the mountain? Do you know about the mountain? Mountain is not plain. It has different up and downs. We call it summit, valleys, then other peak also it is called. Then we reach the top. So we, who are the we? We means in that lesson, in that short essay, we have the two people. And the first one, two persons are there, and the first person is Tenzing, and second is Hillary. These two persons, they are from the foreign country, and to understand the essay, we must know something about the activity of mountaineering. Do you know the mountaineering? Mountaineering means, in easy sense, we just try to climb on the mountain for different reasons. First, there are different summits. For example, Everest, Kanchenjunga, and also Kulsuvai in Maharashtra. So, some people, for their hobbies, for their knowledge, for their adventurous purpose, they climb the mountain, and that is called the mountaineering. Mountaineering is a very difficult task. And do you know which is the highest summit in the world? Can you tell? Yes, of course you can tell. That is Mount Everest, and that is in the Himalaya. So, in the first time, these two persons, Tenzing and Hillary, they first climb, for the first time they climb the Mount Everest, and they got the victory. And lesson is about that. So now you are familiar that Tenzing Norgay, his surname is Norgay, and he is from Nepal. Do you know the Nepal? Nepal is our neighbor country. And Hillary is from the UK, Great Britain. and they form the team and they start the expedition. First, there are some words are very important here. See the some words because you must know the knowledge of the words. I just write here expedition. Do you know that? What is expedition? Expedition means a very planned attempts to go there or to just complete a mission that is called the expedition. So they started the expedition in the world. In the past, a lot of expeditions were arranged for to just get the victory over that Everest. So these people, for the sixth time, they got the victory. So now we will talk about the climbing. Climbing means what? Climb is a very simple word. We climb the tree, we climb the building. So climbing is a very important activity. Climbing means to go to the top. To go to the top from the bottom. And in your book, there are different types of climbing are given. We climb the tree, we climb the mountain, sometimes we climb the ice peaks, and different types of climbings are there. In this lesson, what we have to do? We have to understand how these two persons, that is first one is remember the name, Tenzing and Hillary, how they completed their mountaineering, their mission in 29th May 1952. Remember these dates. That is very important date in the history of mountaineering because on that day they went on the top for the first time. These are the two persons who have covered that height. So now friends, tell me, are you able to tell me the height of that Everest peak, height of that summit? That is 8,848 meters. Up to 9 kilometers in simple sense. They got upward and they got the victory. But the victory was not easy for them. After reaching there, how they feel, what were their feelings, and we have to discuss that feelings in this essay. So now we will talk about some word in your book. This is your textbook. I think that one first tree diagram is given there, and in between that climbing is written. The first they told about some activities. First one is the ice climbing. To go up to the ice. Second, rock climbing. Third one is scrambling. So friends, scrambling is a very new word for you. Do you know the meaning of that scrambling? Scrambling means what? Scramble. Scrambling means to crawl. That is the activity of small baby. How that small baby crawl and how the military persons are scrambling on the ground to achieve their target. That is one kind of sport. Then the next one is rappelling. Third one is bouldering. Do you know the word boulder? Boulder is also one kind of rock, and we try to just climb on that rock. Now these are some important topics. Now I think that you are familiar about the lesson. That lesson is about the two person and their adventurous journey from bottom to the top. and their feelings. Feelings are given there in your book. So I think I read some part of that book for you here on page number 16. The lesson is already started there, and at the first paragraph he says, we left camp 9 on Friday morning and I was determined to get the top on this day. Now that expedition, we can't complete that journey in one day. It requires several days. For that purpose, there are different camps are there, and for Everest climbing, there are 10 camps. From ground to the top, 10 camps are there, and the last camp is camp number 9. And after reaching there, after going there, these two people start their climbing on Friday morning. The name of that day is also given there, Friday morning, and he says that we left the camp 9, means they were close to the summit, and they left that camp 9 to go to the top on this day. That morning, I remember thinking I was to get the top even if I die. I was not afraid to die that day. Here Tenzing is saying that he was determined. He told himself, do or die, I will die or I will achieve the summit on this day. His determination was very strong that day, and he says that I was not afraid to die that day. We set out early all the way from camp 9 to the peak. We alternated. And then see how they started their climbing, because it was totally vertical climbing. Do you know the vertical and horizontal? Vertical means that is straight upward, and these two persons were climbing upward, and they were doing that activity very hard, and they were changing their position. Sometime Hillary was climbing he was leading the position. Sometimes Tenzing was leading the position, and they were tied by the ropes, and they were just climbing one by one. He says, I would take the lead and then Hillary. I would take the lead means sometimes he goes ahead and Hillary was back. Sometimes Hillary goes ahead and he was back. He was leading. The man who follows them, climbing has a difficult job both in climbing and climbing down. He is the anchor. The man going in the lead cuts the steps and break the way. Now see that there was not only climbing, because they have to make their way. Here it was not easy for them. Just think that you can see that here when I just draw you some figure. This is a rough diagram of Everest. See there. They were going in that direction. Actually, there was no road. There were no steps. They have to cut the ice. Cut means to make the way to climb, and then they were going upward. And he says it was a difficult job, and the man going in the lead cut the step and break the way in my pocket. Now he is telling detail. What were there in there with them, which equipments they have brought. There were a lot of equipment, the oxygen cylinder was also there, and he said that in my pocket I had 4 bags, because they were determined, they were fixed, they were confident. After reaching there, see here, after reaching on that peak, what they will do? Here is a question mark. What they will do? They have already planned everything. His team member that I have mentioned, the 2 people, Tenzing, then Hillary, and the last one was Hunt, H-U-N-T. These 3 people were there, and Colonel Hunt was their team leader, and he advised Tenzing, what? You just carry the flag, and after reaching there, what you have to do? They just want to hoist, they just want to put that flag there. 3 flags with, he had brought 3 flags and they were from UK. Then the names are already mentioned there. 3 flags are in your care. He said, when we were still at the camp, poor Colonel Hunt gave me the 3 flags of those of Britain, United Nations and Nepal. He charged with me the duty of planting them on the top of the world. These 3 flags are in your care. He said, when you and Hillary reach the top, put them at the peak. I am sure that you and Hillary are going to do it. And his team member Captain Hunt, Colonel Hunt, he was sure they will achieve, they will reach there and they will put that flag there. Then I told the Colonel Hunt that I was carrying the Indian flag with me and I would like to be on the top of with other flags. I had to ask Colonel Hunt's permission in his capacity as a leader of expedition. So, what was the plan? After celebrating the victory there, they were just celebrating their victory there by hoisting the flags. So now he asked the permission. He asked the permission for the Indian flag, because remember that Nepal is our neighboring country and Tenzing was a Sherpa. Do you know the meaning of Sherpa? Who are the Sherpas? Sherpas are the people who are for the help of the mountaineer. They carry the luggage, they guide, but the Tenzing was very adventurous, very active Sherpa. And he has also some love for our country. So he told, I will bring, I had just brought the Indian flag with me. Colonel Hunt said, by all means, I am glad to know that you brought an Indian flag. He told that you have done very good thing that you have brought that flag. After 1 hour of steady going, we cut across the south face and started up the west side when we had to pass a steep line of the rocks. Now he is telling, they were going at the first to the upward, but at the near the summit and the near the top, they changed their direction and they turned to the steep line of the rocks. This was slow but difficult. When we have cleared these, there was nothing barring our way to the top. The snow cover, including sloping lakes and lakes, near to the top. The last 60 or 70 feet, see here, the last distance means this. This distance was not easy for them, but it to all the area, all the surface was covered by the snow. So he says that, but we kept up the same steady pace and we reached the small flattened summit almost together. Now remember the word together. Why I am using the word together there? Because the problem was that after completing their task target, people asked them the different questions. Who was the first man who just put the foot on the top? It was the controversial question. Actually, they were together. They were very close. But people asked them question, who was the first person? Then he says, there, we reached the small flattened summit. See here, that is the part of the summit. How it was? Small, flattened, sapat. I am using Marathi word. Flat means sapat. And the top, it was flat part there. And Hillary and I were moving about the 20 feet. We were tied together a rope. Most of the time the rope was loose, but when we went dangerous down, we threw it. And the rope was a symbol. It tied us together. One could not move without the order. We were not two individual, but a team. Remember the fact. They were together. They were climbing one by one. So the people asked them the question, who was the first man? Actually, they were tied by a small rope. And he says it was a symbol of a team. Team means group. He said that we were not two, but we were only one. And I think, student, that you will understand what I want to say there. He says, I have been asked many times who was the first after completion. They were interviewed and everyone asked the question, who was the first person who just put the first foot on the top. He said that I am sure that Hillary was not thinking that climbing takes all your attention. You have many more important worries. What does it matter when I reach the top first, Hillary or me? Our main thought was that both of us reached the top. We had two, and one couldn't do it alone. And he says, we reached together. We just go there together, and if there had been the difference of 1,000 feet between us, then one could make the claim that he was the first, but even then, the man behind him could confirm the distance between the two of them. He said that if there were the lot of difference, then only that will be declared. And after that, I think that on the next page, on page number 18, he says, when we reached the Kathmandu, we discovered that a controversy had arisen, and we talked it over, Hillary and Colonel Hunt and me, and we agreed that all the talk was childish. Friends, remember one thing. After the completion of their expedition, they were interviewed, their team member was also interviewed, and in that interview, they made it clear that they had done it together and there was no first and no second. So they signed one pact. Pact means what? One type of agreement. And in that agreement, I just read that agreement. And in that agreement, I think there is nothing to say that. But see there, on May 29th, Tenzing Sherpa and I left our high camp on the Mount Everest for our attempt on the summit. As we climbed upward to the south summit, then they signed a pact, and two copies were with them. One was with the Hillary and one was other. And in that he says, we reached the summit almost together. That is very important point. He says that we reached there together, means at the same time. And we embraced each other overjoyed at our success, and then I took the photograph of Tenzing holding aloft the flag of Great Britain, Nepal and United States and India. There is another paper like this in English signed by me. We will not take part in any controversy, as the statement says. Hillary and I embraced when we reached the top. We did, as well as a bulky equipment would let us. I remember saying that we have done it, but we could not hear. We had our oxygen mask on. He says when they reach on the top, because they were unable to listen their words, but the Hillary has told them we have done it. And now friends, I think that reading is not sufficient, and I want to tell the next part of that, what they have done there on the top, how he has reacted there, what he has done. I think that time is not sufficient for the next. So I conclude my lecture. In this lecture, we have seen the activity of climbing, how climbing is important, what is mountaineering, and how the Mount Everest was just captured by these two persons for the first time in the history, and it was not easy job. It was not easy job. Next time, once again, in our next lecture, we will continue this lesson. Till goodbye.